The Republican Party in general, and Donald Trump in particular, are experiencing a surge in the polls. When I say surge, I mean it's getting back to normal for a president. Trump's ratings were always about 10 points less than a typical president would be, and the Republican parties have always been less than they normally are, but not anymore. Trump's approval in the Rasmussen poll, the most reliable, is now at 49, which means he's no longer underwater. The negatives are equal to or less than the positives, not overwhelming them. And the generic ballot of who would you vote for, a Democrat or a Republican running for Congress in your district, now is a relatively small Democratic margin of 4 or 5 points. Bear in mind on that question that the Democrats have to get up to about +7 or 8 to be able to take over control of the House. +2 or 3 won't do it, because the districts are largely drawn by Republican legislatures that favor the Republicans. And the Democrats have districts that the Republicans don't, where they carry 100 to nothing, the minority districts. The Republicans have no equivalent. So the generic ballot often is just loading up voters in all Democratic districts, which has no effect on the swing districts. But the polling is clearly looking up for the Republicans and for Trump, and underscoring it all is the perception of what the tax cuts are doing to the economy. When the legislation was first proposed, it was negative by about 23 points. As it was going through Congress, it was negative by about 17 or 18. Now it's absolutely break even number for and even number against. I think it's 45-45. And it's going to go higher and higher and be better and better as the economy self-evidently turns around, as more and more companies announce bonuses and wage increases. Already we have a 2.9% year-over-year increase after inflation in wages. And 2.9% may not sound like much, but it's the first real growth in wages we've had in the U.S. in over 20 years. And as all of that evidence comes in, people are going to increasingly realize what a benefit this tax cut is. And the real denouement will come when they actually pay their taxes and find that the rates have dropped. So this is all moving Trump and the Republicans in a positive direction. But the Democrats are doing their share too. They have so staked out and trademarked the idea that the tax cuts are bad and they're not doing any good, that as they do good and as they turn out to have been a great idea, people are increasingly understanding that it was the Democrats who obstructed it. They branded the idea of opposing that legislation, and as it succeeds, they can't get out from under it. The metaphor I love to use is they're like the polar bear in the global warming ad, where he's standing there on an ice floe that's getting smaller and smaller and smaller as it melts, and in a few days he'll be treading water. And that's what the Democrats are like. When they staked out those positions, it looked like a huge ice field. Everybody was against the tax cuts. Now that people are turning in favor of it, they're stuck with a diminishing base right under their own feet. And it's not like they have any issues to come back with. ISIS is virtually dead. The American economy is doing great. In the last poll in Rasmussen, people credit Trump over the Democrats by 45 to 36 for a good economy. And immigration legislation is going to sail through Congress because they have to cave into Trump, because otherwise all the dreamers get deported. And Trump is really winning on all fronts. And the FBI misconduct revealed so starkly last week has to help Trump and vindicate a lot of the stuff he's been saying. So, smooth sailing ahead. Thanks for watching.